Hello, I'm back. Did you miss me? I know it's been a while. We can talk about that later. But first, I want to talk about Glow of the Everflame. This is book 2 in the Kindred's Curse saga. I have a lot. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. For the first at least 50% of the book, I'm calling DM an idiot left and right. And I'm pretty sure some of these tabs are actually me saying, idiot. I'm sure of it. And then there's also a lot of me going, can we, Henry already? Like, I'm tired of this guy. Peace, dude, out, you're gone. Shoo, go away. And then he doesn't exactly disappear, but he kind of disappears from the story for a while. That made me very happy because DM is not an idiot when he's not involved. Anyway, I'm gonna get my notebook. If you can hear the sirens, ignore them. And this is just to keep me on track. Otherwise, this video would be like 4 hours long. Okay, probably not, but still. Hold please. Okay, I'm back. So, the first 20%, like this note is just about the first 20%. Of course, there's the I hate Henry and the DM is an idiot, but this book picks up exactly where the first one left off, like exactly. And I like that a lot because then I don't feel as if I'm missing something. A lot of times, book 2, the first part of the book, I feel like I'm missing something. Doesn't give me that feeling and I love it. I kind of hope book 3 does the same thing. So we get to learn a little bit about court politics and we meet a whole lot more characters. In the first book, we meet a few characters, but they're kind of almost forgettable, right? Except for Breck. For me, Breck stood out and I hope we see him again. In this book though, the characters they're funnier, they stand out more and they're a part of the story more. And I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying I enjoyed because I finished getting to know them. Eamon, I'm not really sure even after finishing the book how I feel about Eamon. Like I loved the banter between DM and Eamon, but there's something about Eamon that kind of sets me off a little bit, like warning bells. Eleanor, not Elaine. Eleanor. In the first 20%, do we trust Eleanor? That was the thought. As the book progresses, yes, I trust Eleanor. And honestly, that's kind of how I felt about all of the Descended that we come across. And we learn which ones we can trust and which ones we can't trust. I'm not going to give it all away for you, okay? I'm going to try not to do any spoilers, but I talk too much. At the end of the 20%, Luther walks in on DM and Henry about to, do things in the palace. But what's worse is it's Luther's room. I'm sorry. Anyway, so now let's just go about overall thoughts on the book, okay? I'm just gonna call it Taryn is my favorite character. You can argue with me all you want. Taryn's the best. His banter with not just DM, but with Luther and the others, the way he carries himself or presents himself, whatever, and the way he befriends DM is just, I loved it. I loved his character. This book was a lot of learning. You learn court politics. You learn a little bit about the magic system, You learn about the people, the Descended, the history of the Descended and the Kindred. And honestly, I kind of feel like there's a lot we're not being told about the Kindred and the Descended. A lot. Like, a lot. We also learn about their version of being a mate. Now, pretty much, like at the end of book 1, I immediately had the thought, they're mates. And then throughout the book, I write it down quite a bit too. Like, they're mates. Dummies, they are mates. Well, the way that I know of a mate is there's really no choice. It's fated. You are like, you're mates. But what they're saying is mates are chosen. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But mates are chosen. There is a whole thing that you go through that's a bond. And it's stronger than just a piece of paper, right? And so, but I still think I'm right. I still think they are meant to be together. We'll see if I'm right or not, but I think I'm right. So as we go through, and so if you haven't read book 1, you're gonna want to go away. Okay. She has to go through all this stuff in order to actually get the crown. Right now she's wearing this crown, but she has to go through these things in order to be official, right? And the challenging, man, I saw that coming a mile away. However, I do kind of wish House Hanover would have picked a different challenger, a specific challenger, because then we wouldn't have to deal with that person. Whatever. Anyway, but the way that the challenging played out was, oh yeah, we see DM come into her power to choose it over everything else. It's just, I don't know, the way it was written was great. Then at the very end is the final part. It's the coronation, and they have to go to this aisle. Now, when I tell you, I ran to my bookshelf and I got Spark of the Everflame off, and I'm thumbing through trying to find the epilogue where Mama Bellator talks, where we get to see Mama Bellator. I had to make sure that where they are at is where Mama Bellator was at the end of book 1. What the hell is going on? Please do tell. I don't know if I trust Mama Bellator. I really don't. What the actual... Anyway, I still, like I said, I don't know if I trust Mama Bellator. And I do still think, I'm very certain, I thought it in Spark. I think DM is, she's not a descendant in the way that most of the Descended are descendants. She is actually part Kindred. She's not like Descended and mortal. She is part Kindred. She's the big mama jamma. Like, that's why she has gray eyes. That's why she has gray hair. That's why she's so goddamn powerful, because she's a Kindred. Could be wrong on that too. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But, yeah. Okay, so you see these little, this is a lot of the learning, and it's also like really important parts, or parts that I thought were really important. But there's a couple of parts in here where Luther is telling DM basically how he feels. And when I tell you, this man made me melt. Ooh, he made me melt. And it's not sexy talk, guys. Ooh, excuse me. It's not sexy talk. It's just hot. It is like telling her he loves her and adores her without saying, I love you and I adore you and I want to be with you forever. The words are just so much better. And it's like, whoo, girl. The first time he comes out and says it, it's like, what is your problem? When has Henry ever said something like that to you? When? Do tell. You can't. The second time he says it, it's like, okay, say something back. Say something. And she doesn't. And it's like that all the way until close towards the end, like the last 25%, I think, maybe. But anyway, so that's that. Those are my thoughts on Glow of the Everflame. And now I'm going to take a break for other reasons before reading Heat of the Everflame. I loved this book. This was a 4.5 star. I think the only reason I gave it 4.5 instead of 5, and I honestly think this is why. DM and her stupidity. If she wasn't such an idiot about Henry, so she will be thinking and processing and being rational. And then Henry comes in and it wipes it away. And it's like that in the first book too. So that's what it is. It's like Henry's around and all rationality disappears. She doesn't think for herself. She only thinks for Henry and what Henry is saying and what Henry wants. And I don't like that. You are a strong woman. Except for when he's around. Like, I don't like that. So for that reason alone is where the half star disappears from. That's why. But I love the book. And I can't wait to read Heat and then Burn. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Feel free to comment what you thought below, or if maybe now you want to read the series, it's okay too. And then also if you are on the TikTok, or the Instagram, you can follow me over there and see short form content as well. So, all right, until next time, guys, stay safe, enjoy a good book, and I will see you in another one. Bye.